Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are back with Tina Wankey, yes, our professional of the year and founder of Roots of Healing LLC. What does she do? She's helping people all over reclaim their power over their health and exploring that interconnection with the body, mind, soul, both physically, energetically, and even in the sense of a biofield. So we're all interconnected. She's going to talk to us today more about the techniques she uses. We'll get to know her for those who may not know who Tina Wankey is and talk about our true, authentic self. So, Tina, who are you? She's like, I'm
Yes.
just me. Tell
Yes.
us a little bit about
Right.
what you do. Thanks for
Yes.
going with the
Yes. So,
punches.
right. Okay. So, yes, I am the founder of Roots of Healing. I'm a holistic therapist and wellness coach. So, I've taken an approach of helping people from utilizing different modalities and custom creating what might be most beneficial for a person, whether it's that traditional counseling, talk therapy, working on coping skills, to
Mm-hmm.
looking at, okay, what else do we need to address? Do we need to look at how you're eating? Is that influencing how you're feeling or how you're behaving? Looking at energetically what might be happening, looking at the biofield, looking at tuning forks to help with that, looking at singing bowls. I'm excited for that. And also like looking at the mind part, like what's tripping you up in your mind. So even utilizing the hypnotherapy too, as to helping people get back to who they want to be or to get to where they want to be if they haven't been that person they've wanted to be.
All right, I get it. And how can we contact you? Could you share the website, all forms as well?
Yep. Yes, you can contact me if you go to my website, rootsofhealing.org. There is a form that you can fill out, and then that'll get it emailed to me, and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, you can call me or text me on my phone, which is 920-277-6738.
All right. And for today, we're going to talk about our true authentic self and really what's in the way of us being our true authentic self. Could you
Right.
share a little bit about this idea of what this means?
Yeah. So really it being your true authentic self really ties into like being who you truly are. And so many people feel like they might be being authentic, being themselves, but sometimes we're not being our true authentic self. So I really wanted to explore this idea of what it means to be that and how to get there. Because I think a lot of people feel like they're being their authentic self, but they're actually not. They're actually being who society has told them that they should be and conforming to those norms. So that true authentic self is really getting to the root of who you are as a true person, like your core, the true core of who you are. And a lot of people miss it. So when you're looking at that authentic self, you're looking at like what aligns with you for your true values and your deep beliefs that you have, like what makes you you, even your passions that you have, the things
Okay.
that you're really passionate about. And then also it's just those personality traits of who you are. So it's like when you're just being yourself and you feel free, you feel excited, you just feel at peace, you feel at ease, and you're just you. And that's what's being your true authentic self. You're
All right.
just being you and you're not worried about what other people think. You talk about your beliefs, what you believe in and your values that you have, and you're just truly just being you, not trying to conform or answer a certain way depending on who you're talking with, but just being yourself.
All right.
And
And
yeah,
oh,
so it's when you do that, you just feel free. You feel at peace and you just
okay.
feel like this is me.
Yeah, it feels good. All right. Well, what's
Yeah.
the difference between feeling, well, not really, I guess, feeling, but being your true authentic self, and confidence and self-esteem? Because it feels like it's kind of similar, but how would you describe that?
Yeah, so there's some differences. So, like I
Okay.
said, I describe this, authentic self. That's being, your true core of who you are. Where confidence is more of like a behavior. It's more of that,
Hmm.
like you're confident in your abilities. You're confident in what you can do. You're confident in what you're about to do. You're whether it's personal stuff or business stuff, family stuff. You just feel confident in those abilities. So when you look at that self-esteem part, self-esteem goes into how you view your own worth. Do you have high value for your worth of what you have to offer? Or do you have that low self-esteem? That low self-esteem is where you feel like you have those insecurities and you're not feeling like you have worth or value to offer. So the three of them can impact each other and can support each other and influence
Okay.
each other, but they can also bring you down. They can bring you into a place that you're not
I
feeling
see.
you're most like you're not feeling confident or you're having
Okay.
that low self-esteem.
All right.
So when you have that authentic self happening, you tend to feel more confidence and you also tend to feel more self-esteem. So so with that confidence piece, you'll believe more in your abilities of what you can do because you're being true to yourself and what you believe in. And then if you have that strong self-esteem, that high self-esteem, and believing in your worth and the value that you have, what you have to offer, that can help fuel that authentic self. So they can be intertwined in that. And sometimes people will confuse them and think they're the same thing, but we want to look at them a little differently, separating them to see them for their own values. So we want to get that authentic self to be coming out so everything else can just kind of be raised up.
Got it. All right. Thank you for that. And we want to put our energy up higher in a
Yeah.
sense. But people do, how come, inclusive included, we kind of sometimes tend to shy away from this due to quite a few things. I could mention one, people's opinions, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Opinions can have such a huge impact on us. You value, let's say, a parent's opinion or a friend's opinion, and then it can put you in a completely different place because
Hmm.
maybe it doesn't align with what you have to say or it feels very judgy. So then you might be fearful of, well, if I say this, they're probably going to have a negative comment to say, like they're not going to be supportive or they're going to, think like in regards to the stuff that I do, like, some people where they don't understand the science behind everything, might be like, it's woo woo, it's that woo woo stuff. And that's just their opinion. That's where they're coming from because they don't have the full understanding. But opinions of people can make such a huge, huge difference. And I actually have a kid story that I would like to share because
Mm.
I laugh about this whenever it pops up. So when I was a kid, I had my insecurities. Like I didn't want to be seen. Like I just wanted to follow the rules, and
Yeah.
nobody questions me. Like I'm not getting in trouble, things like that. And I don't know how old I was. I know I was young enough that my mom panicked
Mm.
because someone told me I had such long, beautiful eyelashes. And I was like, people are going to stare at me. So I went home and cut my eyelashes off
Oh my gosh. I
because
get it though. I get it though. Yeah.
so I was just like, I don't want people like watching me all the time. That was my insecurities. And that was as a little kid. My mom was worried that they wouldn't grow back, or, she's surprised I didn't, cut my eye or something because I don't remember how old I was, maybe 6 or 7, somewheres around there. But it was just like, I didn't want to be seen. Like I didn't
Hmm.
want to be, people paying attention to me. So it was an insecurity. And with that insecurity, when you have those insecurities, it's not allowing for your authentic self to come out. It's not allowing you for you to be true to who you are and just be you. Another story that ties into that is when I was probably, I think, through my teenage years, I did not laugh with sound.
Okay.
because I didn't want someone to, like, if I laughed, was someone going to make fun of my laugh or
Laugh at
something?
your laugh and judge you for that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I always laugh silently with no sound. And I remember a friend pointing that out. They're just like, you don't make any sound when you laugh. And
Oh,
I was
now they're
just like,
making fun of you. No matter what I do, they're making fun of you.
right,
You're like,
right.
darn it.
It's
Yeah.
like can't win, and that created an insecurity in me,
Yeah.
because it was like I was this, like this shy person where I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to be paid attention to. So I was not being my authentic self because I wasn't allowing my authentic self to come out because I was keeping it inside because I wanted to fall into the pattern of what was acceptable and what was being seen, in school, in any places, that we went. It just, it didn't allow for me to be my authentic self as a kid because I just felt like I didn't even know what that meant then, to
Yeah.
be that. It was more so being stuck in, how do you act? How are you supposed to be? How do you fit in? What is everybody
Hmm.
else doing? Are you going to do that? Or are you going to do something different? So those things can trip us up. They
True.
can cause us to shy back from who we really are.
Hmm.
So, like you see, like if you think back, I'm sure everybody could probably think back to high school and they can see the kids that it's just like, wow, like maybe they dressed totally different, but they were kind of like they were themselves. Like they weren't fitting into what was considered this societal norm. They were just being who they were, just letting their inner beauty shine out. So it might have been in their clothes, big bold clothes or something like that. But it wasn't like what was in the trend at that time. But for them, that's who they were. They were expressing themselves. They were allowing themselves to be seen for who they were. And when you see somebody,
Hmm.
if if you know somebody who really feels authentic, you
Yeah.
really just see their personality shine through. You just see it, you feel it, like it just they stand out because they're just being their authentic self and you can feel it. It just the energy is different when people are being authentic and true to who they are at their core.
Beautifully said. Thank you for that. And also, just want to remind everyone how we contact you because we're halfway through, Tina.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so it is rootsofhealing.org is my
Mm-hmm.
website. Find out about my services there. And then also there's a form you can fill out. And my phone number is 920-277-6738.
All right. So now we're going to imagine a world of letting all this go, right?
Yes.
And just
Yep.
no insecurities, no fear, visualizing and how hypnotherapy can
Yes.
help.
Yes. Yeah. So a big thing is allowing yourself to let go of those fears, to allow yourself to be like, I want to
Hmm.
be myself and I want to be the best version of me possible. So when we go to visualize it, like I have somebody come in for hypnotherapy and they're just like, they want more confidence or they're feeling insecure and we're looking at correcting that, like
Okay.
changing what they're thinking. We want to get them, I'm trying to get them to focus on what their authentic self is and who they want to be. So who do you want to be as a person? Like visualizing who would that be and not to think with limits. We always put these limits as to, well, I can do this. Well, but I can't do that. That's too big. Like we try to minimize things that we don't think big. So I always tell people, if you're doing hypnotherapy, this is the opportunity for you to get rid of those negative beliefs that are holding you back and
Okay.
allow you to create that authentic person that you want to be. So do how big do you want to be? Do you want to be like your voice is heard, that you're spreading your message, that you're sharing your talents, you're allowing yourself to get on stage and to feel confident
Hmm.
to do it and allow your voice to be heard? That hypnotherapy piece can help with that. And it can help change that so you can pull into your authentic self, like to be the person that you just want to be and be indifferent to other people who are going to judge, who are going to have their opinions, because there are people out there that are always going to judge. They're always going to have their opinions. And if we always let that get to us and prevent us from doing what we need to do and what we want to do, then we're never going to be able to do those things, to be the person that we want to be big, or, to whatever it is that someone wants to be in the world. So the hypnotherapy is one of those. It just allows you to be free and
Mhm.
just go.
Got it. Well, thank you for that. And what else did you want to add about hypnotherapy?
Yeah, so with hypnotherapy, it is the process is really cool that people go through to get to that spot. It is so enlightening, and it's freeing to be able to let go of what holds you back. And it can just give you such a tremendous sense of I can be me. This is who I want to be, and this is who I'm going to be.
Got it. Well, also, I know in the notes you wanted to share a little bit about using, all the tools for optimal
Yes.
support. So that's like what you said, the tuning, the energy biofield tuning, and there's a few things that you could do. Could you share some of those modalities?
Yeah, so with the tuning forks, and even the tuning forks, singing bowls, things like that, we are going into the body and we're trying to
Mm.
change the energy. So those negative emotions that are happening, those feelings that are holding us back, we want to make sure that we're clearing that out, because we
Okay,
have it in our mind. We have our beliefs in our head, but we also hold those in the body. So what we can do is we can take and clear those out with those different tools. So we could do a combo like with the hypnotherapy, but then we can also do some sessions with tuning forks to
Mm.
clear out that negative energy too, to add an additional support to help the process along, to get things to move even a little bit faster. And when we're doing that, we're focusing on the chakras that we have, the 7 chakras, and taking and getting those realigned, energy flowing through the body the way it needs to. If you've ever heard singing bowls, it can just be so like peaceful, and just kind of like it just kind of can vibrate through you. And it's just that sound healing aspect that we can add in there. So there's one other piece I didn't put in the notes that I wanted to add in too in
Sure.
regards to that, is there's also what we can do is we can do a Nest Health scan, which can also identify like those core beliefs that we're struggling with. And then what it does is it creates, and that's just one little piece of the whole scan, because there's over 180 different pieces that it scans. But in
Wow.
part of it, it scans the emotional parts, the beliefs part, and then it customizes a meditation to help shift those beliefs that are stuck. So those beliefs that are not, that are holding you back. So then, like the tuning forks, like the singing bowls, things of that nature that impact the energy. This meditation has frequencies that each belief will, in the recording that you listen to, vibrates at a certain frequency to help get that belief stronger for you. So we can take and look at adding in, creating a comprehensive, like authentic self program for you as to what's going to best fit you and the needs of that particular person.
Got it. And just to bring up, tuning forks, some people might not even be familiar with what a tuning fork is. I know
Yes,
we've seen you tell, can you just share
yes,
just a little bit about how it works specifically?
yeah. Yeah. So tuning forks, what happens is, so like a lot of people will think tuning forks, they'll think piano if they've known how a piano gets tuned. And what happens is tuning forks create a certain frequency. So there's
Okay.
different frequencies to different tuning forks. And what happens is with the body, when you utilize a tuning fork, you strike that tuning fork and that sound comes out, the vibration comes out, the body starts to resonate to that frequency, and then it changes that frequency within the body. So if it's like an erratic frequency that's happening, like let's say anxiety,
Okay.
uh, a lack of confidence, anything like that, it's not going to have a smooth flow in the frequency. So the tuning fork sends out that frequency of how it should vibrate to get it to get into sync and to vibrate the way it should, which then creates a different feeling within you, a more positive, more uplifted, more just positive feeling within you.
Got it. All right. Thank you for that. And also, we still have 5 minutes left in your
Yeah.
show. So, did you want to share more about, how we can really start? I imagine my authentic self, and, I just that would be like relaxing. I never
Mhm.
sit, I would love to sit down, no makeup on, just relax, watch TV, but with the kids and the noise and the work and it's hard to be your authentic self, right?
Yeah.
It,
Yes.
it, but it's the benefits. You got to remind us how important it is because what are we doing to ourselves if we're not following, our authentic self?
Yeah, if we're not being our authentic self, it's almost like you're fighting against your body
Yeah.
because you have this part of you that just wants to be you. And then we're influenced by all these things around us. And by taking the time to focus on being your authentic self, in in my mind is like self-care because you're focusing on yourself and in being the best version of you of how you want to be and just being. So we need to take the time to take a step back and first assess like, okay, am I being my authentic self? Like really questioning it? Or am I behaving, reacting based on other people, maybe the way I've been told I'm supposed to act, how I'm supposed to be, but just really taking some time to think about that part and see like, am I being my authentic self? And am I being
Yeah.
my authentic self as often as I want to be? Is one of the first steps in my mind.
All right. What else do you want to share with us for today?
Well, I think, you know, after you explore that and see, like, am I being my authentic self? And if you're feeling like, yeah, I think I need some work on it, you know,
Yeah.
think about what's going to help you with that. But definitely starting to jot down and writing down, journaling, like, who would be my authentic self if I was actually being that person? Like, what am I doing now that's authentic to me at my core beliefs, my passions, my joys, things that make me really happy that I just, you know, just when you're passionate about something, it vibrates off of you. And are you living that life? Are you living to that? Or are you hindering that for some reason? And then seeking out resources that can help. So, like I said, the hypnotherapy, the tuning forks, the singing bowls, doing the meditation with the beliefs, there's different things that you can do that can help you get to that authentic self. So the services that I offer can help with that. And then we can just identify and figure out what are the services that you need that's going to help you get to that place that you want to be at.
Got it. Makes sense to me. All right. All right. All right. And to work with you, is there anything we need to know? How many sessions? Do you offer package deals?
Yep. Yeah. So, okay. So if all these modalities that I have, except for the counseling, can be done from any place in the world. So these modalities can be, you know, you can be across the ocean. That is totally fine. If it's counseling, then there's the legal, there's the insurance, licensing, and everything. You have to be in the same, you know, state that I'm in, which is Wisconsin. So, but outside of that, if we're doing any of the other modalities, there's no restrictions in regards to how that happens. So we do everything via Zoom. And there's package deals that can be done depending on what someone wants to do. I'll always custom create those for the person. And it's the big thing is contacting me to, you know, have a conversation, to schedule something, to say, hey, I want to see if this would be a good fit for me and what you can help me with.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, for joining us, and remind us how we can contact you. Thank you.
Yes, you can reach me through my website at rootsofhealing.org. Otherwise, you can contact me through my phone number, 920-277-6738.
All right. Well, thank you again for being here, for joining us. Great topics, great discussion again. And we will chat. Are we back again next week?
We are.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you. Looking forward to it. Have a great week and weekend coming up soon.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Bye bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.